Is Jacinda Ardern a Satan worshipper like everyone says she is? Is it because she is a proud Freemason? Is it because she wears ominous skull rings? Is it because she has locked down her people and is coercing them to be vaccinated by Pfizer? I mean, to quote someone, these notes are tenuous at best. So let's take a deeper look. Jacinda grew up a Mormon, but she then gave up her faith and became an agnostic because the Christian faith conflicted with her personal views, in particular gay rights. So there is her first step into the darkness right there. She gave up all faith in God. What changes in her life caused that to happen? It may have been her auntie, Marie Ardern, turning her to politics at age 17. Apparently Marie Ardern is a long-standing member of the Labour Party. Wiki has no file on her, and when you search for her online the only information or photos I seem to be able to find are from stuff.co.nz, which is not at all surprising considering Stuff is, and was, an arm of 9 News Australia, which is linked all the way to BlackRock finances and funnily enough Jeffrey Epstein. No wonder his story was quashed so quickly here. So who even is Marie Ardern? Has anyone got actual info on this woman? I'm starting to think she has been planted. Jacinda Ardern is a socialist, which, let's face it, is just communism in disguise. And in 2008 she was elected the leader of the International Union of Socialist Youth. The International Union of Socialist Youth is an international non-government organization that is a consultant to the UN on social and economic issues. This organization was founded in Germany prior to World War I. This role took Jacinda to countries like Hungary, Jordan, Israel, Algeria and China. Then a few months later she became an MP for the Labour Party. Jacinda Ardern's father, Ross Ardern, was actually a police officer back in the 70s, and was one of the police officers who carried out the Dawn raids on Pacific families. If you don't know what the Dawn raids are, then I suggest you do your research into the horrible recent history of New Zealand. Jacinda has now made a formal apology for the Dawn raids, as of August this year, with very generous scholarships available. But her father is still the administrator for Tokelau, which is a Pacific island, and he supervises their government on behalf of New Zealand. Jacinda Ardern became the Prime Minister of New Zealand in 2017, and since then she has been responsible for numerous of God's laws being broken. The first being in 2018 when she allowed Jesus' name to be removed from the prayers that open the sessions of Parliament. And protests went unheard. In 2019 after the Christchurch mosque shootings, Jacinda Ardern visited the members of the understandably shaken Muslim community wearing a burqa. This from the self-claimed agnostic and ex-Mormon. I find that highly offensive that she would wear religious garb, feign respect, and yet openly claims God isn't real. In 2020, during the COVID lockdown, she allowed, and voted for, the abortion bill, which allowed for the abortion of full-term babies. Providing the mother isn't in labor, she is now able to abort anywhere from conception to birth. If that isn't enough, she then allowed, and voted for, the killing of the babies who God saved from this cruel and satanic act of abortion. But if that isn't enough, instead of allowing these babies to pass away in peace by at least using a form of euthanasia, instead she allowed, and voted for, no medical assistance to be provided to these babies, as they take their last gasps of air. I will not go into other forms of full-term abortion as it is barbaric and will shock you to the core. But the links are in the description. In 2020, the bill for euthanasia was pushed and passed, calling it the End of Life Choice Act 2019. Which, as of 7th of this month, literally 4 days ago, it has become officially legal. This during a vaccine push, during the worst pandemic in history. At least according to the mainstream media. In 2020 Jacinda locked down her country due to the COVID-19 pandemic, taking away majority of their God-given rights. Then in 2021, has imposed a mandate that all New Zealanders be vaccinated by the Pfizer vaccine, and if they do not they cannot buy or sell.
Places that choose not to use vaccination certificates will either be closed or have public health measures in place. Where premises choose not to use vaccine certificates, they will face restrictions on numbers and spacing similar to the current alert level framework. But the reason we have changed from this system is because we needed one that could make use of the new tool of vaccines and vaccine certificates, a way that we could keep vaccinated people safe from those who have not been. See when things might be escalating and we might need to bring in extra measures, but there will be a continuity to the way we'll be able to operate regardless. Our view is, though, that actually you can't quite predict what people hearing the message today that says very soon you won't be able to do many things that you love without being vaccinated. And I expect that will accelerate vaccinations. That is certainly our goal. And anyone who is not vaccinated right now, unless you choose to be, you will not be able to enjoy the freedoms of other New Zealanders.
These are the very basics of what Jacinda Ardern has been up to in the course of her life, and the things that are on the surface. If we dig deeper, we could find more. But is it worth all the effort when what lays upon the surface is as evil as the devil himself? In my eyes, she is worse than a Satan worshipper. She is the poster child for the Scarlet Woman, the Lady in Red, who will be drunk from the blood of the saints, and all those who bore testimony to Jesus. But of course, you can make your own mind up.